Hey guys, I had to come on and do this again today. Second live stream in one day. Look, I know the election was tough on a lot of people. I get that. I'm here to I'm here to try to really help as many of you as I can. We can all get through this. We can get through it. But I want to share something with you. Um, hatred, hatred is not the way to get through it. You're hanging with me here because you want to feel better, right? You've got chances are you've got some anxiety or depression or PTSD or something going on. Chances are that's why you're following a channel called Microdose U. I don't think it's just that you want to see me every day, it's just or a couple times a week. I mean, you've got something you want fixed. But I've got to tell you something. Hatred hatred is not the way to feel better. You're probably wondering, like, what am I talking about? What's Dr. Dave saying? Well, I don't hate anybody. What are you talking about? Hatred? Well, because maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. But I unfortunately spend too much of my time looking at things on social media. Unfortunately, I say that I'm not proud of it because it's not always the best use of time. But especially after the election, I see a lot what's going on here, guys, and I want to share something with you because sometimes people think they're doing the right thing, but actually, what they're doing can be really really hurtful, and not only to other people, but in the end, hurtful to you or to them. I'm not saying you're doing this, but to other people. So I was looking at, I think it was Facebook or Instagram, just stories that pop up in my feed, and came across this one today. So let me just read this to you because this is important stuff, guys. So somebody that I'm connected with on Facebook wrote the story, and remember, I don't want this. My show here is not political. My show is to help you feel better. I don't endorse any candidates. I don't mention any political news or anything like that. And if you've been following me for all, you know that I stay away from politics because that's not what the show is about. But I can't help but notice certain things. So I got this Facebook story that kind of came across my desk here. I'll read it to you. It's short. It says, imagine knowing for the rest of your life that you voted in favor of hatred, that you voted against your mothers, sisters, wives, daughters, friends, significant others, that you voted for him and failed all of them, that you voted against the LGBTQ community, people of color, immigrants. How ironic that you voted in alignment with the Ku Klux Klan. Okay, so that was a story. So you got to remember, no matter what we think, no matter how we feel, over 50% of the country voted for Trump. Now, again, I'm not endorsing a candidate. I don't even mention I don't mention who I voted for. It doesn't matter. But I hope you can see that this post, although the person the person's probably hurting, crying, anxious, afraid. I get all that. And those emotions are okay. They're okay. But by posting something publicly like this and hurting more than half the country, when you don't even really know the reasons that other people voted for a particular candidate, you might not like. You might not like the candidate that somebody else voted for. You might think they're the biggest piece of trash in the world because they voted for this candidate, but they might have their own personal reasons. And here's an example. By the way, if you're with me here on the live stream, just give me in the chat, just drop in the chat room, say hey, say hey, Dr. Dave, how you doing? Or something. So let me know you're here. I'm just curious. See who's here. A lot of people end up watching these on the replay because again, these are not announced. I just come on a whim and just start recording. So okay, now I read that story, and I hope you can see that that could be hurtful to people. I hope you can see that. But this person that wrote it might say, no, well, anybody that voted for Trump is a horrible person. What did she say? You're against the LGBT community. You're against people of color. You're against immigrants. You're in alignment with the Ku Klux Klan. And then I get a message from somebody today. This person, I know him. He's a follower. And guess what? He voted for Trump. Now, before you say this guy's an asshole, I don't even want to hear what this guy has to say because he voted for Trump, so he's a piece of garbage. Before you say that, let me read you his message. November 6th, 2024. A Cuban immigrant kid's journey to the American dream. In June of 1965, my family and I arrived in Miami, Florida, after spending 3 months in Mexico City, awaiting our refugee visas to enter the United States. We were fleeing socialist Cuba. With only the clothes on our backs and a single small suitcase, we arrived at Miami Airport and we stepped into a new life. My father was a successful medical doctor, 47 years old, and my mother was a passionate school teacher, age 37. She was the driving force. I was 11 years old and my younger brother was just 6. We left everything behind: our home, our car, our cherished possessions. I still remember the pain of leaving behind my bicycle and my baseball glove. My parents sacrificed everything they had right at the height of their careers and lives so that my brother and I could grow up with the freedoms and opportunities that only this country of ours can provide. After arriving in the US, my father worked hard to pass his medical board exams and eventually secured his medical license. During this time, my mother shouldered the responsibility of supporting our family. With their unwavering support, my brother and I were able to take full advantage of the opportunities this country provided. I went on to become a dentist, and my brother built a career as an anesthesiologist. We each created our American dreams. We were able to make our parents proud, knowing that their sacrifices had not been in vain, and we will always be grateful. Our story is just one of many that demonstrates the unique possibilities offered by this country. Here, an immigrant child who is willing to study and work hard can achieve the American dream and all that it has to offer. We hope that the people of this country continue to value the opportunities it provides and recognize the fragility of the freedoms that make these stories possible. God bless America, the greatest country on earth, and the American dream. Now, I know this person personally. He's a follower. I know him. And I will tell you, since I know him, he is not against the LGBTQ community. He is friends with LGBTQ people. He is not against people of color or immigrants. As a matter of fact, he is both of those. And he's in alignment with the Ku Klux Klan? I don't think so. So again, my point here is, hey, from Morocco, Anas, how you doing there from Morocco? Welcome. Thanks for enduring my live stream here. I appreciate you. I really do. Thanks for being here. My point is this. I'm not endorsing, promoting, or saying one candidate is better than the other. We had an election. Somebody won. And we're seeing so much hatred from people that are against and hating people that voted for a particular candidate, in this case, Donald Trump. Hatred. But I just gave you one of probably, I don't know, thousands, tens of thousands of examples, millions of examples out there, I don't know, of people that are accusing others that voted for Donald Trump of being misogynist, racist, hating people of color, hating LGBTQ people, aligning themselves with the Ku Klux Klan. I just gave you an example of an immigrant from Cuba, and he and his family, his parents sacrificed everything they had and pretty much left everything behind because they wanted to flee a socialist country. Now, I'm not making a statement at all. I am not saying that one side is socialist, one side is, I'm not saying that at all. Again, I've got my political views, but this is not a political show. And so I'm not saying that one candidate's good, the other's bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you're here to feel better. You want to feel better every day. I know you're worried. I know you're afraid. I know you're anxious. I know all of that. I realize it. But spewing hatred towards people that do not agree with you or you don't agree with politically is taking things to a level that I believe, in my mind, I believe is unwarranted, very hateful. Many times you're going to be wrong because, again, the first person I've read the story from is accusing anybody that voted for Donald Trump as being against all of these people. Then I clearly read a story of somebody that voted for Donald Trump that is nothing of the sorts. Nothing. And again, I'm not endorsing Trump. I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm endorsing love. And I'm endorsing, let's think before we talk. And thanks for the thumbs up, whoever, maybe was that honest? Thanks, whoever gave me the thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up. It means the world to me. I appreciate it. Hearts, thumbs up. Some people sometimes give a little, what is it here? Donation. There are all kind of things you can do. Support, but you don't have to, but I appreciate it. It's really nice, really kind. All I'm trying to do, I am trying to not only bring people together again, but I'm trying to eliminate these mental health issues that we're going through. And if we can find a reason that people are going through these mental health issues, and I can point it out to you and say, look, don't do this. It's hurtful. And you might not be right. You just might not be right. There's a lot of craziness going on. Thanks again for the thumbs up. I appreciate you. There's a lot of craziness going on because don't think I'm not getting messages and emails and people asking me all kinds of political type questions. Don't think I'm not getting these. I'm not immune. I'm getting them. And I will tell you what my answer is generally. Not generally, all the time. Somebody tries to bait me into asking me something political. Who did you vote for? Do you think the election was fair? Things like that. My answer is basically, I started this podcast over 3 years ago. I did not start it as a political podcast, and it will never turn political. So I basically say, I'm not answering these questions. I'm not answering these questions. You're not going to bait me into going political. I'm not going to do that. And I had somebody earlier today that was very upset with my answer. This person did not like my answer at all. And he tried to drag me into like a fight. And I said, look, I work really hard for everybody here. I do these podcasts. They're free. I don't charge money for podcasts. I mean, if you want to go down there, wherever that button is and donate something, that's fine. You don't have to, but it costs me a lot of money to do these. So it takes a lot of time and it costs a lot of money for equipment and stuff. So, but it's, you don't have to do anything. You could just be a faithful listener, and I love you for that. That's totally fine. But he tried to bait me into answering questions, and when I wouldn't answer his questions, he threatened that he would think about leaving. I will not be bullied. I'm sorry. I've had enough problems in my life, in my youth, growing up, everything I've gone through. I will not be bullied. So my answer was something like, "Hey, look, if you don't like the way I do my podcast, you're free to leave. You're free to leave. You don't have to stick around." And that goes for anybody. I mean, I love you all. I really do love you. I feel we're nakama, which is a group of like-minded people, like a tribe. It's a Japanese word. Yes, and I will use that word. I've been told not to use that word also. I've been told that nobody likes it. If I could do one episode on some of the mail I get, some of the mail and some of the message I get, you guys wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. If, by the way, if you're here, say a little quick hi in the chat for me. If you're here, just say hello, make a comment, anything. It's a live stream. We're streaming live. It's a live stream. That's what we do. So yeah, I get all kinds of crazy messages and sometimes threats. God, I mean, I don't know. Mini dot. Hey, good to have you here. Really good to have you here too. Um, I mean, I don't know what else I can do for everybody. I mean, I pour my heart and soul into each recording, each episode. I try to do it to help people all across the planet, and I get harassed, bullied. You wouldn't believe some of the ones I get. I wouldn't even repeat because they're so bad. Now, I will take, in all fairness, most of the communications you guys send, most of them are really nice. I'd say 98%. 98% are really nice. But a small percentage, I don't know where these people come from. They think it's their show. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I won't allow it. I draw the line, and if they don't like it, they can go somewhere else. I've decided that although the stats, used to be important to me, I did a whole episode on that. I made a decision, and it might have been the mushrooms talking to me. It might have been the mushrooms teaching me, guiding me, helping me. I made a decision that I'm gonna pour my heart into every episode, but do it the way I want. I'm gonna do it the way I want. And if the stats go down because people don't like what I'm talking about, so be it. I said from my very first episode ever, if I can help one person, if I can change one life, just one life, if I could change one life, I'm good with that. And guess what? I think I've changed more than one. So my job is kind of done. This is all just bonus material now because my job is done. So it's all good, and I love what I do, and I wouldn't be doing 2 live streams a day like this today if I didn't love this. I love it, and I really wanna help people, and I just feel really bad because, again, I don't wanna minimize the fact that people are hurting. I don't wanna minimize that. I know people are hurting, and I feel horrible. Nobody should be hurting. But when you take that hurting and then try to turn it into hatred to other people that you might not agree with, and you don't know their personal reasons, as was evidenced in what I just read, the story and the message, then I think you're treading in very dangerous and very sad territory because you don't know. Because you might say, oh, well, anybody that votes for, I'm going to make this up, anybody that votes for a rapist and a misogynist, I automatically hate them. I hate that person because there's not one good person that would vote for a rapist and a misogynist. I'm just kind of making that up, but a lot of people have been saying things like that. But then I read a message I got from a Cuban American whose family basically left in the middle of the night, so to speak, in the middle of the night, to come to a land that they felt was safe and free and fair. So you never know. You never know what somebody's story is. So please do not generalize and say anybody that votes for a certain candidate I hate. That is just, oh my God. I can't even tell you how sad that would be, I think. I just can't tell you how sad that is. And what is it with the black profile pictures on Facebook now? People have black profile pictures. I take it that's some type of a protest. Let me see what that means. Even I'm not sure what it means. I mean, I imagine it's some kind of protest against Trump. Let's see. What does it mean? I'm going to say, what does it mean if somebody has a black profile picture on Facebook now? Let's just see what that means. That means black screen movement, visual way to express thoughts and prayer. Okay, well, a black profile picture can mean a few things. Thoughts and prayers after a mass shooting, but there wasn't a mass shooting. Can also be raise awareness of social issues, news events. Okay, I don't know. Why are people putting black profile pictures? Okay, so it just says to raise awareness of some type of a high profile news event. And I take it that means somebody that has a black profile picture is just. I guess it means they're against Trump. I guess that's what it means. Again, I'll say it again if you just came in. I don't endorse Trump. I don't endorse anybody. I don't endorse political candidates. I don't make political statements. However, I do endorse not hating and trying to understand our fellow human beings who may have a reason for doing something that you just don't know. You might just not know. So please be careful, guys. Please be really careful. Anybody else here that wants to say hi before I close for tonight? Anybody want to say hello? Um, we'll leave it at this. I hope this resonates with somebody. I hope it makes sense. I really do. Um, it's hard for me to talk about this too. It's not easy. This is really difficult. I mean, when I first started the podcast, I came on and said, here's what microdosing has done. Here's how many milligrams you take. Here's how you do it. Here's what we do. Here's how often you microdose. But it's evolved into much more than that. It's much deeper, and there's so many, and life is so complex. And life is much more than just here's how you microdose to feel better. It's much more complex than that. And I've learned that over the 3.5 years. Let's all be let's all be kind. I know, believe it or not, on Facebook, people are making fun of people that ask others just to be kind. It's really gotten bad, people. It's gotten real bad. Making fun of people. How dare you ask me to be kind? I can't be kind to somebody that voted for this candidate. How dare you ask me that? It's really bad. It makes sense. We're all here together from Minidot. All here together. We would all like to have nice lives. Some people's decisions are based on fear. It's difficult to understand people. Hatred is not needed. So with you, Minidot. So with you. Thanks for that. It's the bottom line I'll close with is you never know anybody else's story. You might think you do. You might think you know, but you don't know. I love you. Bless you. Good night. I will talk to you maybe tomorrow. See you later.